should feel like, damn, maybe I'm out here tripping, asking somebody to spend, I don't know, $500 on a meal for me on a first date.
When
You
did
know,
I'm sorry to when did that start?
I feel like this shit is recent.
Within the past 5 years or within the past 10 years?
I don't know.
10
Y'all
years
younger than
maybe.
I
us.
would
What y'all
say
say?
10.
Well,
10,
all
yeah.
entertainment has played a big role in the ideologies of people. And now that entertainment, at some point, it wasn't accessible to everybody. Entertainment was primarily a luxury. And then eventually it got into the hands of everybody, no matter if they were 14 or 94. And now we do see an influx in the behavior simply because it is accessible to everybody. When did it start is a different question, but when did it become as prevalent? I think it would definitely have to be when ideologies and behaviors and entertainment has been able to share and push it on a wide scale, nation and worldwide.
So when like if we can pinpoint it, like when would it be? Because I think
2012. 2012 is what I would say. I would say 2012 specifically because I remember that was the time where Instagram was out, but it was being pushed. If you didn't have Instagram by that time, if you didn't have Instagram, you were kind of a loser. But Facebook was cool because Facebook was chill. Twitter was out. People were just talking shit. But then Instagram came where there was only pictures. The only way you can compete with other people's pictures is if you have better pictures or better places, better settings. So eventually, you know, I remember when I first went viral in 2013. It was at a party and I was on stage. And it wasn't even viral, but it was viral. It was probably like 400 likes, which at that time was hard to get. And it was just that we had sold out the show, we sold out the venue, and it was lit. And we had this dope ass picture, me and my homie Quasi and my homie Haas. And I remember at that point in time, we were like, okay, we gotta stay here. And the only thing is you're gonna keep, you know, doubling down on those moments and trying to capture those moments to a point where you had people had Vine. Vine was another big contributor to it too.
I mean, I kind of agree with him. Social media made it so bad. And I think how social media made it so bad with all these weird dating standards is because one woman may get a rich man to take her out on an expensive dinner date. He will pull out the money, she'll see the check, and it's like $500, whatever. So that woman will post on social media, other women will see that, and then when you, the average guy, comes and you're like, hey, let's go for a coffee, she's gonna be like, I'm not going for no coffee. I also require a $500 dinner date like my friend had. You know, all the friend who will tell her girlfriends how she got a rich man to take her to an expensive, you know, dinner date. And then those girls will also believe they deserve a man who is going to take them to an expensive dinner date. So the cycle continues, the snowball effect. So eventually, most women now believe if a man is not buying her an expensive dinner date, it's not worth it. But it's like, so it's translated from we're just getting to know each other on some simple things to if you don't buy me an expensive dinner date, if you're not spending lots of money on a first date, then you're not the man for me. So that's how they're really trying to see if you're broke or not.
That's when social media really started taking off, when people started going viral. And then, you know, with that being said, then people started just competing with different types of settings that were typically inaccessible to others.
I think that Instagram also did a good job of getting, you know, businesses to start pushing content and, you know, promoting themselves. So we had other options. It wasn't just Applebee's, Fridays, Red Lobster. Now everybody wants to try that restaurant that they saw on Instagram with the nice pictures and the nice steak, and they got nice drinks.
No, I mean, the expensive restaurants have always been around. People have always known the upscale restaurants, and they're just the usual Applebee's, Fridays. But you know, like I said, in my opinion, once one girl gets a chance to go with a man who can take her to an upscale, expensive Ruth Chris, and she tells her friends, now those friends are going to be like, I'm not, no more, I'm not, if a guy doesn't take me to Ruth Chris, because they're jealous of the friend, like if a guy doesn't take me to Ruth Chris, like my friend, he's not the guy for me. So in other words, it goes back to the money.
Yeah, but I'm saying before that, it would have to be that the drug dealers were talking about it in songs. So I'm saying pre social media. It'd have to be the drug dealers talking about the places they went in songs, or not even drug dealers, the rappers, or because I don't think R&B. I don't remember like soul saying like, "Oh, we were at."
Papado.
Yeah.
Typically, when things affect Black people, it's typically the canary in the coal mine for everybody else. So I don't know if
I was about to say you got to explain.
meaning it's
How do you
like
get
the
How do you get in there? What's canary in coal mine?
canary in the coal mine is like how do you, it's like it's like a sign of something that's going on, and it's like, okay, this is happening. It's like a warning, and we've traditionally been impacted first, and that's, I would say, it's maybe because of where we are economically,
Yeah.
where we are in the housing market, things like that. But I don't feel like they know first.
This stuff has always been cultural, though. Whatever's been popping was always a place. Like, I'm from New York. The Tunnel was a popular place in the 90s. Club, Webster Hall,
Speed,
Roxy, all of these places. Even on a teenager level, like the Skate Key was one of the places that you wanted to go to skate. It's just now, instead of word of mouth about phone, the places are on social media telling you where to go that's popping, and it promotes it for people like you brought up. So now people want to be at the popping place that's $400 for, a table. So that just made it worse.
Yeah, but I also think when girls talk to themselves, so before, women would go on a date with a man and they have to ask him what he does for work to find out, to gauge, okay, will he be a good provider? Does he make good money? Because even rich guys, because they want to avoid gold diggers, can't take a girl to, just a normal cheap place, right? So that, they're trying to figure out, does she want me for my money or not? So, but women, what they do now is they're gonna demand an expensive dinner date. So if you're not able to provide that, number one, they're gonna call you stingy. Number two, they're gonna call you broke. But if you can provide that, they're gonna assume you make good money and you're willing to share the money with them. And then they're also going to think they have nothing to bring to the table. Because what men are saying, before I spend $500 on you, I want to see if you're worthy. And women are saying, I'm already worthy, spend the money on me.
And the thing, we are natural competitors, and social media was always used for business, and it's really supposed to be, it still is, and I would say 80-20 when it comes to business to consumers. Now you do, like he said, mention, businesses now utilize social media as opposed to 7, maybe 8, maybe 10 years ago, businesses weren't on social media. You wouldn't have found Webster Hall on social media in 2012. But at that point in time, and I just remember from like the journey of an influencer, they were doing so much and getting so much love for relatively nothing. And then it became a big pop. I don't know if it was with YouTube or what, but when you can actually make money by going to places, and people started paying you just to come to their event, whatever it may be, then people started to say, well, you know what? I'm already looked at this light. I need to keep that experience and whatever moments that we capture at your event to be equivalent to all the other photos or videos that I already have. Now, anybody else, which everybody became, or everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people now have the desire to be a social media influencer. Because whenever people see, same thing with podcasting, whenever people see something is working, they jump on the bandwagon. But now we're all seeing the truth about it. It's not realistic. A lot of people can't last that long. It costs money. It literally, it's not as easy as people think it is, but they're buying into these lifestyles and they're trying to live a life that they are not built to live.
I mean, I kind of see what you're saying. It's not different from If I take a girl on a dinner date, $500 dinner date, it's gonna be hard for you to take her out on a $30 dinner date. Because she's gonna be like, okay, Boogie took me to an expensive dinner date and he didn't know nothing about me towards the first date. Why do you get to take me on a $30 drink, I don't know, pizza, ice cream date? I deserve what Boogie did for me. So some girls, some women get that experience from one man, and that's the experience they're gonna use as the standard for the guys who come after you, for the guys who come after the rich guy or some kind of experience. Because some guys, especially, let's say a woman gets on a private jet, she gets a rich man, puts on a private jet, flies her out wherever they go. It's gonna be very hard for that kind of woman to ever date a man like me who's never gonna put her on a private jet. You feel me? So they set the standard and then they stick with that standard forever.
And I hate to say this, but I got to quote Future. Because Future said, you're spending all your show money trying to keep up with my image. Right? So these people are getting different types of, advances or sponsorship dollars. And their only thing that they're doing is trying to display that they're as worthy as somebody like him or somebody at his level. And I think that's where we got to this point today where everybody's doing the most for nothing, ultimately, to start back at the bottom again.
So it seems like we have gone on a tangent. I don't know. I think knowing this piece of information, like if this was, it's been on social media, obviously, but if like the statistics that he gave us, if that is shared like community wide, I would hope that it would like start. It would have people to start thinking about like, what are we doing? And look how we've gotten to where we got so quickly. And then we have to ask ourselves, why are we dating like them? Why are we pushing the provider narrative? Because let's be real, it's both parties. It's male and it's men and women talking about being a provider. I think you also have to consider like, why did it catch on like wildfire? I'm inclined to think that it has something to do with these young women maybe seeing their mama struggle, seeing their grandmama struggle, seeing their auntie struggle. And they're like, why would I waste my time with somebody that's we'll say 7 times out of 10, gonna do me wrong in some regard, and I'm not really benefiting from it.
I kind of agree with her, but the difference is the aunties, the mamas, the grandmas, sure, they were struggling or they didn't have much money, but they didn't have social media to compare. You know how they say comparison is a thief of joy or something like that? So these young ladies who want these expensive, lifestyles and requirement to provide these expensive lifestyles have social media to look at other girls who are living those lifestyles, whether it's real or not. They compare themselves to those other girls they see on social media. It's like, okay, if she can get rich men to provide for her, I can too. I deserve as well. But the thing is, there are not enough rich men to go around, and there are not enough rich men willing to spend that money all the time. So just a few women will get the rich man. So what happens that the women refuse to date the average man because they can't provide the rich lifestyles, and then the average men also, which is the majority of men, also give up on dating. It's like, you just want to use me for money, you want this expensive lifestyle, I can't give you, so I'm also giving up on dating. So what happens? The division increases, and this is going to be a generational issue. But what do you guys think? I'll put down the link below to 8 at the table.